Morning students. Last class we discussed about food preservation, various techniques and how they are useful to preserve the food, not to spoil and not to get damage from the microorganisms. Now we are going to discuss another concept, nitrogen cycle. See, the nitrogen is one of the very essential element which is found in the air, which is found around 78%. See, out of 100%, 78% of nitrogen is present in the atmosphere. And this nitrogen which is found in the atmosphere and which is not useful in the form of air. So, the gaseous state, the gaseous form of the nitrogen is not useful for any kind of living organisms. But this nitrogen is very essential for plant growth. So nitrogen is essential for plant growth. So why this nitrogen is essential for plant growth? Because of the nitrogen is the main basic unit in formation of proteins, amino acids and nucleic acids. So, to form these organic substances like proteins, amino acids and nucleic acids, to form these organic substances, so nitrogen is one of the essential element which is found in the air. But even if it is found in 70% in the atmosphere, directly it is not useful to the plants or any other organism. So, this gaseous state of nitrogen should be converted into different form, which can be easily absorbed or utilized by the plants. And this conversion of gaseous nitrogen into useful form, and that is called as nitrogen cycle. So, what it is called? Nitrogen cycle. So, what is nitrogen cycle is conversion of gaseous state nitrogen into form which is used by the plants. That is called as nitrogen cycle. So what is nitrogen cycle is conversion of atmospheric nitrogen into different form which is able to soluble in water or which can be mixed in the soil. That is a different form. That is compound form of the nitrogen. So, atmospheric nitrogen is converted into the form of compound or soluble or dissolved in water and which is used by the plants. That is called as nitrogen cycle. Useful form, and which is either in nitrate form or nitrites form. That is called as nitrogen cycle. See, the nitrogen cycle is occurring in 5 stages. In how many stages it is occurring? 5 stages. So, what is the first stage is nitrogen fixation. So, what is nitrogen fixation? So, nitrogen fixation is nothing but converting from gaseous form to the useful form, that is compound form, which is useful by the plants. That is called as nitrogen fixation. So, what is nitrogen fixation is nothing but conversion of atmospheric nitrogen into compound form like nitrites or nitrates. Conversion of atmospheric nitrogen into nitrites and nitrates. Any one form it is converted. That is compound form. From free form to compound form it is forming. This conversion of atmospheric nitrogen into complex form, either nitrite or nitrates, is called as nitrogen fixation. What is it is called? Nitrogen fixation. So this nitrogen fixation is carried out by means of 2 methods. A. Physical method and another one is biological method. See, the nitrogen fixation is carried out by means of two processes. One is a physical process and another one is biological process. So physical process, it is carried out by thunders and lightning. Thunders and lightning, they causes oxidation of nitrogen. Oxidation of nitrogen is nothing but nitrogen is reacting with oxygen to form nitrite form or nitrate form. That is what we see that physical method. So under physical method, thunders or lightning causes oxidation of nitrogen to form nitrates. And that nitrates is readily possible to use by the plants. That is the one thing. And biological method, in biological method, the living organisms are playing a key role in the conversion of atmospheric nitrogen into compound nitrogen. Here, the bacteria called Rhizobium. The bacteria called Rhizobium, which is found in the root nodules of leguminous plants. The Rhizobium bacteria is found in leguminous plants like pea plant or beans, like this plant is found. So this is one root. So on this root, if you find small dot like structure, and they are called as root nodules. In these root nodules, you can find Rhizobium bacteria is present. So these Rhizobium bacteria which is present here, they are in association for exchanging of the materials. So the Rhizobium bacteria which is found in the root nodules, it helps in providing atmospheric nitrogen into nitrates that is essential for plant growth. At the same time, the plants are supplying nutrients for the growth of the bacteria. So they are in mutual association in what it is exchanging of the material. Such kind of mutual association is called as symbiotic association. What it is called? Symbiotic association. So what is symbiotic association? A mutual distribution or a mutual association in between the root nodules of leguminous plants and Rhizobium bacteria in exchanging of the materials. That is called as symbiotic association. Under symbiotic association, the bacteria is converting atmospheric nitrogen into nitrate ion form, which is easily absorbed by the plant. So bacteria is supplying nitrogen to the plants for growth. At the same time, plant carry out photosynthesis and prepares their food. That food is provided to the growth of the bacteria. That is, a mutual association is formed in between plant and bacteria, and that helps in conversion of atmospheric nitrogen into nitrates or nitrite ions, and which are used by the plant for their growth. That is, the nitrogen fixation process is carried out. So, what is nitrogen fixation means? Converting from one form to another form. So, atmospheric nitrogen is converted into compound state like nitrite or nitrate, and which is by the thunders and lightning and by the Rhizobium bacteria, and that process is called as nitrogen fixation. Next method and second process of nitrogen cycle is nitrogen assimilation. So assimilation means converting from one form to another form. See, now under the nitrogen assimilation process, the nitrates or nitrite ions are absorbed by the plants from the soil and allows the nitrogen to convert or synthesize the proteins. So, the plants absorb the nitrogen. Absorbs nitrogen compound, that is nitrate, and to synthesize complex form is protein. That is what we can say. The nitrates are converted into protein form. That is, complex structure is formed from compound nitrates. This conversion of nitrates into complex protein and to become a part of life is called as assimilation. So under assimilation process, see, this is for example nitrate. These nitrates are used by the plants, and plants are preparing proteins. So plants are preparing proteins. So these proteins which are found in the plants are eaten by the herbivores. Herbivorous plants, herbivorous animals are eaten by the carnivorous animals. See what is happening here? The distribution of nitrate ion is not in plants in the form of proteins, is distributed to the herbivorous. From the herbivorous, it is distributed to the carnivorous. So this movement of, that is conversion of nitrogen, that is nitrate ions from one form to the protein complex form, and that process is called as assimilation. What it is called? Assimilation. After assimilation process, next is ammonification. So ammonification. In nitrogen assimilation, nitrates are used by the plants to form proteins. So from the plants, herbivores to carnivores. Finally, what is happening here? These all the animals, they are going to die. Why? Because every organism should die. So from these dead organisms, what is happening here? From the complex proteins, formation of ammonia by the action of bacteria or fungus, which are called as decomposers. They break the complex plants or animals' body into simplest form. So from the complex protein, the simplest ammonia is formed. This is because of the bacterial and fungal function. That kind of conversion of complex protein into the ammonia by the decomposers is called as ammonification. What it is called? Ammonification. So what is ammonification means? Conversion of complex protein into ammonia by the process of decomposition, which is carried out by the bacteria or fungus. And that process is called as ammonification, and the ammonification process causes to add ammonia into the soil. That is ammonification process. And next process is nitrification. So under nitrification process, as we know that the ammonia is added into the soil by the decomposition process. Now what is happening here? The conversion of ammonia. The conversion of ammonia into bad nitrates. Ammonia is converted into nitrates, and that process is called as nitrification. And this nitrification is carried out by the nitrifying bacteria. What they are called? Nitrifying bacteria, like Nitrosomonas. One bacteria and Nitrosococcus. These are the two examples for the bacteria which allows in conversion of ammonia into nitrates. So that is process is called as nitrification. And next another process is denitrification. So nitrates are added into the soil. Now the nitrates, some of the nitrates which are added into the soil are used by the plants, and remaining nitrates which are found in the soil are back into the atmospheric nitrogen. That is called as denitrification, which is caused by the Bacillus denitrifying bacteria, and another one is Microbial denitrifying bacteria. So in this way we can see that the nitrogen cycle is carried out by the different microorganisms are playing a key role. So what is happening here in the nitrogen cycle? First is nitrogen fixation, conversion of atmospheric nitrogen into nitrates or nitrite, and which is carried out by the lightning and thunders, and also biological process called rhizobium bacteria that is carried out. Next, nitrogen assimilation. Assimilation is nothing but converting from one form to another form. So the nitrate ions are converted into proteins, which is carried out by the plants by absorption from the soil. That is nitrogen assimilation. And next, ammonification. So conversion of nitrate ions into complex protein. From this complex protein, what is happening here? Again, ammonia is forming. That process is called as ammonification. Next, nitrification. Nitrification. In that, ammonia is converted into nitrates. This is caused by the nitrification bacteria, like nitrosomonas bacteria, nitrosococcus bacteria. And next, denitrification. So D means back into the atmosphere happening. So what is here? The nitrates which are found in the soil, some of them are used by the plant, and some of the nitrogen again back towards to the atmosphere in the form of nitrogen gas. This is also caused by the denitrifying bacteria, like Bacillus denitrifying bacteria and Micrococcus denitrifying bacteria. In this way, we can see that nitrogen cycle is carried out. So, simple cyclic form. Atmospheric nitrogen. So this is by the biological process, that is by bacteria. Nitrogen is converted into nitrates from the thunders and lights and lightning. Atmospheric nitrogen is converted into soil nitrogen. So from the soil, as you know, that plants are going to utilize. Plants are utilizing. So these plants are consumed by the consumers. That is either herbivores or carnivores. From the consumers, after death of plants and animals, as we know that detritivores are decomposers. So detritivores are decomposers. They act on plants and consumers, allows to convert into soil mixing nitrogen. So From the soil mixing nitrogen, denitrifying bacteria. Denitrifying bacteria. This denitrifying bacteria add back the atmosphere into the atmosphere. From the clays and also rocks and sediments. So, by the physical process, what is happening here? The nitrogen is added into the soil. In this way, you can see that the nitrogen cycle is going to be occurred. So, how the nitrogen cycle is occurring? The atmospheric nitrogen is converted into soil nitrogen by means of thunder cycling and bacteria. From the soil nitrogen, it is absorbed by the plants. Plants are absorbing. That is assimilation. After absorption, that is carried transferred to the consumers. That is what happening. After that, after consuming this, formation of ammonia. That is, the dead animals are decayed and acted by the denitrifying guys, detritivores or decomposers, and allows to add the protein or ammonia into the soil. So from the soil, the nitrogen added back into the atmosphere by denitrifying bacteria. This is a cyclic movement which is occurring, hence it is called as nitrogen cycle. By this we have finished by microbes which are useful and harmful concept.